you rotting away simping over fictional characters instead of going outside and touching some grass? Have you been scrolling on social media so much that you're constantly quoting memes? In this video, I'm going to teach you how to glow up on the inside and on the outside and start living your best life. Discipline will get you further than motivation. Motivation is like an F-boy that keeps popping in and out of your life saying, hey, how's it going? I missed you so much, BB. It comes and it goes. You can't rely on it. Discipline is what you're gonna need in order to completely change your life. For example, when I started getting back into exercising, I was not motivated, okay? Maybe I was motivated on day one, but then after a while you say, okay, let me be disciplined and let me exercise. I can't just go based off of my emotions and my feelings, or else I'm just gonna sit here and not do anything. Do not equate glowing up with consumerism. Now, I know it's so easy to say, oh, I gotta buy this skincare product, I have to buy this workout plan, or else I'm gonna be so far behind in life, all of my problems will be solved. But if that was truly the case, wouldn't it be that easy? There are so many things that you already own that if you just add a little bit more love to them, you may have a completely new item. For example, skincare. A lot of times people forget to look at their sleep, hydration, allergies, stress levels, but then they're going out and spending hundreds of dollars on products when they could have addressed those problems instead. Clothing items, upcycling your clothes, DIY hacks, and they can completely transform an item that you thought was ugly AF into something that's beautiful and it's Pinterest worthy. Trust me, okay, you don't have to spend all of your money in order to glow up. A glow up can be for free if you want it to be. Also, do not pressure yourself to have an extensive, amazing, absolutely life-changing transformation all in the span of a weekend. People are working, people are in school, people are parents, there's a million other things in life going on. Some of us are just depressed. Do not put this pressure that you have to achieve a certain glow up by the end of summer or by a certain timeline in order to be successful. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey, baddies. It's okay to take your time. It's better to take little tiny baby steps. Think about it, you like cute little animals, don't you? It's better to think that way than to try to burn yourself out and go crazy. Slow and steady wins the race. Every single win, no matter how small, is still a win, and it's something that you should applaud yourself for. It's not easy in this world to be happy and to try to be a better person, and the fact that you're even watching this video, you should, commend yourself. That's amazing. Good for you. And as someone who has anxiety, it can be super easy to get overwhelmed by all of these glow up tips, so just take it slow, because remember, glowing up should be an enjoyable process. It shouldn't be something that you're dreading. It shouldn't be something that you're suffering for. You should be doing this in order to better your mental health, better your life. And obviously there's aspects to it that maybe initially you don't feel good. For example, me with exercise, maybe initially I don't feel like exercising, but afterwards, I'm building up that endurance, I'm building up that stamina, getting those John Cena gains, and I do feel better. I'm saying if you're still feeling horrible about yourself, like constantly trying to figure out what makeup to wear, fashion to wear, etc., maybe it's time to take a break. Something that helped me repair my relationship with exercise is understanding that you don't have to do all of the conventional exercises in order to get your body moving. I love me some dance workouts. I love Andy 8 Fitness, Grow with Joe, Fitness Marshall, because I love dancing and I love good music, okay? I don't want to just be dancing to copyright-free Kids Bop music. Give me that copyright Ariana Grande. Give me that TikTok music. Give me that Bad Bunny. You can exercise and you're having fun while you're doing it, and it's free. But there are so many different ways you can exercise. You can find a sport that you enjoy. You can go online and see if there's any classes you can take. So if you don't like lifting at the gym or you don't like going for runs, don't force yourself to do it. Food isn't just fuel. You are allowed to enjoy the taste of food, enjoy the experience of eating food. It's all about balance. It's all about moderation. Don't deprive yourself. And one of the best tips that I found to eat more healthy is to add and not subtract. Can you have things in your life that make you happy in this economy? Bestie, we can't afford that. I love pizza. Pizza is one of my favorite foods ever. Deep dish, thin crust, Italian. It doesn't matter the style, baby. I love me some pizza. And so instead of saying, no, I'm not gonna have pizza because it's unhealthy, instead say, okay, I'm gonna have pizza, but I'm gonna have a salad with it as well to get my veggies in, and maybe I'll have fruit for dessert, period. And I'm gonna have a glass of water. I see a lot of younger people who are still living at home say, oh, I want to eat more healthier, but my family, they cook all these unhealthy meals. Maybe that's a way you can incorporate more healthy, nutritious foods into your diet. You don't have to say no to what your family cooks you, but you can also add like a salad on the side or some frozen veggies or something like that to, add some more balance to it. When it comes to makeup, there are so many different ways that you can change your makeup, what eyeliner you use, what blush placement, contour placement, etc. But do what works best for your face, also your aesthetic. Think about what aesthetic you're going for, what vibe you're going for, but then also what flatters your face the best. Also, if you are a person of color, please wear sunscreen. I know that a lot of times we are told that we don't need to wear sunscreen because we don't really burn easily, but no, wear sunscreen. Sunscreen is not just for burning, it's also to protect your skin. If you have hyperpigmentation, which a lot of people of color deal with, it's not going to get better if you don't wear sunscreen. There's a bunch of reasons why you should be wearing sunscreen. When it comes to fashion, I still don't know if I'm spring, autumn, summer, Capri Sun. I don't know. It can be super confusing with color analysis. A little life hack that I have for you is to find a celebrity that kind of looks similar to you in terms of skin tone, hair color, etc. And then see how they're styled on the red carpet, because obviously they have professional people who know what shades of colors are going to look the best on them. Or if you don't have someone who has a similar complexion as you, pay attention to what colors you're wearing in your favorite photos, because maybe you're going to find a theme. Me and red, we're like this, okay? We are twinning them forever. Pay attention to what color people compliment you on. I get the most compliments on red, pink, and blue for some reason. Am I wearing it right now? No. But that's a me problem. Besties, I'm going to need you to not have this negative mindset that you can only wear certain items when you look a certain way and have certain skin types. No, I'm going to pause you right there, bestie. Pause, because that's not true. Do not wait until you're a certain size. Do not wait until your skin is completely clear. If it's comfy and you feel good in it, end of story. Point blank, period. You're always going to be waiting forever. Oh my gosh, there's a good Ben Platt song about this. As you get older, you'll wonder if the waiting is all you've ever done. Sometimes you're going to be waiting forever, and then sometimes you get to the size that you think was your ideal size and you realize that you're still not feeling good about yourself, and you could have just been wearing the outfit anyway this entire time. And I know obviously it's easier said than done. You know, there's some negative Nancy's up in here, but trust me, babe, you know, if you get abducted by aliens tomorrow, which one are you gonna wish you wore? The cute clothes or the ugly clothes that you forced yourself to wear that you don't even want? Be mindful of the media that you're consuming. It's so easy to listen to sad artists. I'm pretty sure Joji is always in my top 5 music artists. Why? That man is sad. I am sad. We should not be sad together. If I'm a sad girly, why am I going to be drowning myself in sad music? That's just going to make me feel worse about myself. It's fine if you want people to articulate your feelings. I totally get that. I get that. However, when you consume so much sad content, or for example, if you only watch TikToks about people's partners cheating on them, you only see toxic relationships, then yeah, you're going to get in your head and say, oh man, maybe my partner is a little sleaze bag. And put on some happy stuff, okay? Watch creators who make you feel good. Do not be afraid to press the block button. Do not be afraid to press the unfollow button. If a creator is making you feel bad, bye. That's enough. You don't need to justify it, say, well, they're a nice person. It doesn't matter. And if you are mutuals with this person, maybe it's someone that you know in real life, the mute button is gonna be your best friend. You know how many people have muted? I think I have like 100 people muted. Yeah. And it's perfect. Like, we're still mutuals and I don't have to worry about them. Easy peasy lemon mofo squeezy. If you don't want to completely shut yourself off from social media, try to limit yourself, but also try to curate your feed to stuff that actually makes you happy. Hope core videos or fashion inspo videos. Commenting on videos that you actually want to see will make the For You page and the YouTube recommended page push out content that is similar to that. But obviously sometimes that's not enough, so don't feel bad if you need to take a break from social media, because honestly I think a lot of us should be taking a break from it. If you do decide to delete it, it's always going to be there. You can always return. You don't have to do a permanent delete. You can always just delete the app and then come back to it when you're feeling ready. Journaling is one of the best habits that you can possibly form. If you don't like physically writing, may I recommend doing it online? I personally use Notion. You know, you can do video diaries on your computer or on Snapchat. A lot of times we only want to journal when we're in a bad space, but trust me, there is a bunch of clutter that is going on that you don't even know exists. So just taking 5 minutes out of your day every day to just journal, stream of conscious, get all of that out, try to organize the clutter so that you're good to go. Doing a gratitude journal, specifically breaking it up into different sections. For example, courage. What did I have the courage to do today? And it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It could be, oh, I had the courage to film this video. I had the courage to comment that I really enjoyed someone's video. I had the courage to like someone's post that I usually don't like. I had the courage to wish someone a happy birthday. Once you start acknowledging that you are actually a courageous human little being, you feel empowered, you know? And then with gratitude, it's so easy to get in our heads and say, oh, this is horrible, this is horrible, this is horrible. And I'm not saying that certain experiences aren't horrible. I'm not trying to lessen anyone's pain or anything like that. However, perspective is super important a lot of the time. Well, let's say there's a guy and he's not treating me right. You're not going to be adding stress. There's enough stress that the world has to deal with. I'm not about to actively be with someone who stresses me out. These relationships should be an addition to your life. They should not be your whole entire life. They should be a piece, not the entire thing. They should be the cherry on top, not the entire sundae. A lot of times we feel that we have to put all of our soul into another person and then we lose ourselves, we lose our friends. Make sure that when you are in a relationship that you are maintaining community with your friends, with your family, your hobbies, self-care, self-love. If they left your life and you only put all of your eggs into that basket of them, then you're left with nothing. It's all about balance. Imagine if your favorite fictional character or creator was talking bad about themselves. You know how you see someone and you know someone who is the most stunning person ever, and then you see them feeling bad about themselves, saying, oh, I'm ugly, I'm this, and you're thinking in your head, no, you're actually insane. Where's Ashton Kutcher from Prank? Cause cut the cameras, cause this is a lie. I'm not saying someone who's fishing for compliments. I'm saying someone who genuinely feels bad about themselves, and you are looking at them and thinking, what? You're crazy. I'm gonna need you to channel that energy into yourself. It's important to remember that you are saying these negative things about yourself and you're internalizing negative things from other people because you know yourself the best. Your brain knows how to make you feel bad. Your brain knows how to get under your skin. It's been with you for your entire life. It knows what's gonna trigger you. No, I'm awesome. Maybe I feel bad about certain things, but I also have a bunch of other qualities that I really like about myself, that I really love about myself. Like, I'm not saying that you have to pretend some of your flaws don't exist, but it's about accepting them and saying, yeah, this is real, this is me, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I have certain elements that I'd like to change if I could, but I also have a million amazing things about me, and that's on period. If you have specific insecurities, I would find creators or celebrities who have those features and then look at them, and then you're gonna be like, wow, they are beautiful, and then you're gonna see, wait a second, if they're beautiful with that feature and I have that feature, then why would I be any less beautiful, right? Besties, I'm gonna need you to get a hobby, and it does not need to be expensive. I'm gonna make a whole other video about this. When it comes to hobbies, one of my best secret tips that I have, a lot of times you can take a class at a local community college for maybe $75, $80, and you're taking 8 classes, whether it's pottery, painting, arts and crafts, whatever class it is, you can do it. But there's also free ways to do it too. Going online, you know, learning a language online, arts and crafts at home. There's so many different hobbies that there are in life. You don't have to just only scroll on social media. If you've outgrown a hobby or you just genuinely do not like a hobby, don't force yourself to do it. There's way too many better things that you can be doing with your time, so don't pressure yourself. Pilates princesses, I respect anyone who does Pilates. You are a queen. You got those John Cena gains. Me, I just don't think that it's for me. Granted, I haven't really tried it at a studio or anything, but I feel that personally for me, I'd rather do more of a dance workout, you know, hey, let's get into it, rather than strength training. And so why would I force myself to take a Pilates class when I could have spent that money taking a dance class? Now, I'm gonna get into more taboo topics. If you don't wanna hear about that, you can just skip to this timestamp right here. No problem, you're good to go. I don't know how much I can say on YouTube, so I'm going to use substitution words for a lot of these terms. Don't mind my silly language. When you're hooking up with someone, you are allowed to say no at any point during the process. It doesn't matter how far along you are when it comes to hooking up with them, you are allowed to say no, and it is perfectly fine to say no. If you're worried that you're going to hurt their feelings or anything like that, any decent person is going to fully understand and say, hey, I totally understand where you're coming from, no worries. It doesn't matter if there are body parts inside of body parts. It doesn't matter if you agree to just hook up and then when you get there you say, actually, no, I'm not interested in this. There are situations where maybe you don't feel completely safe enough or comfortable enough to say no. I would come up with a few excuses beforehand before you even go that you can just use and whip out in the middle of hooking up, so you can just, you know, immediately bounce and get out of there. Because a lot of abusive and toxic people are narcissistic and they think that everything is about them. And so if you come up with an excuse that's definitely not about them, then maybe it'll make a safer environment. For example, say, oh my gosh, I forgot my friend was supposed to pick up her sweater from my apartment. I'm so sorry, I have to go. She's already waiting there for me. Oh my gosh, I forgot to take my dog out of the cage. I have to go back home. I'm so sorry about that. Friendly reminder that if you both agree for one person to use a condom and they take it off in the middle of it without informing you, that is considered SA. Just want to throw that out there. You can still enjoy bars without drinking alcohol. If you don't want to drink alcohol, bestie, don't pressure yourself to drink alcohol. For example, maybe you love Harry Styles, Rihanna, SZA, Taylor Swift, whoever. Sometimes bars will have themed nights, and maybe you think to yourself, oh, well, I don't drink alcohol, I can't go, it's gonna be weird, it's gonna be awkward. Bestie, the only people who care if you're drinking are people who are losers, okay? It doesn't matter. Like, people who genuinely are cool people, they don't care if you drink, they don't care if you don't drink, they are minding their own business. Do not feel pressure to drink if you don't want to drink. If you are someone who does drink, pre-gaming is going to be your best friend. I do not know what happened to society where now we're going to bars and clubs to pre-game. No. If you have the option, pre-game at someone's house, pre-game in the park if that's legal, pre-game at the beach if that's legal, because it's so cute. You can just go to the beach, have your cute little beverages, maybe some wine, and you can just enjoy each other's company. You can play little games, you can listen to some music, or if you're at someone's house, you can get ready together, do your makeup, watch a movie. There's so many different things that you can do. And honestly, 9 times out of 10, the pre-game is more fun than the actual club or bar bar that you're going to. And it saves you money. You know, it's expensive to try to get silly at the bar. May I recommend a flask? Even if you don't drink, sometimes you just want a nice refreshing beverage, maybe some apple juice, some lemonade. And 9 times out of 10, the bar is not just going to serve you apple juice. And then if you want to go to the grocery store, it's usually closed by the time you're at the bar or the club. And so if you have a flask, it'd be nice and easy. Just go to the bathroom and then boom, take a shot or two, and then you're good to go. This helps with spiking as well. I mean, obviously there's different ways to spike people, but like when it comes to putting something in your drink and getting spiked, if you're only drinking out of a flask, then it helps your odds too. It does feel a bit safer. You know, you could buy a drink or something, but like if you're at the club and you already paid cover, girl, go to the bathroom and use that flask. Be mindful that sometimes they pat you down. So put it somewhere weird, like in your bra or your sock, just so that if they're patting you down, they're not going to confiscate it. Sometimes if you're going to a festival though, they'll use body scanners, but I'm saying more so if you're just going to a bar. You wouldn't hear from me, bestie. Period. If you want to be social and you have anxiety, one of my best tips that I would personally do is to come up with a valid excuse before you go to the social gathering and say it beforehand. For example, let's say you met someone new and they invited you to a house party and you're super anxious, you're super nervous. Before the party even happens, say, hey, just as a heads up, I might have to leave early because I have to study a lot this weekend or I have to work a lot this weekend. Whatever excuse fits your lifestyle, insert that excuse. So it doesn't seem like you're making an excuse because the party sucks or because you're anxious or because you're upset. It's not because of the person hosting the party, because a lot of times when we make an excuse, we think, oh my gosh, that person's gonna know we're just making up an excuse. But then if you already established that excuse beforehand, you're good to go. Always challenge yourself to stay at least 10 minutes, because 9 times out of 10, when this is coming from someone who has anxiety, it was worse in my head than it was in actuality. Anytime I'm going to a social gathering or I need to socialize, I'm always scared. I'm so nervous. I am like, girl, run the other way. This is not gonna end well. And then I get there and it's fine. Even when it's not fine, it's still fine. When it comes to depression, as someone who has dealt with depression, it is very hard. So definitely be kind to yourself. Don't try to force yourself to completely do a 180 and to be jumping of joy every single day. Honestly, instead of striving for happiness, strive to just be content, to say, hey, I'm chilling with life. We're at a nice neutral. Something that's helped me personally, and that I see other people who have depression that's helped them, is to find a hobby that you just cannot get away from. It's like you're in the Vampire Diaries and the vampires are compelling you. It doesn't matter how much you've been rotting in bed, you are still gonna find a way to be with that hobby. And for me, content creation and writing, I don't know what it is. For like the past decade, it's just been like that. But for other people, it could be anime, romance books, it could be knitting, it could be crocheting. And obviously, if you don't have that hobby right now, it may take a while to find what hobby works for you. But one of my biggest tips is to go back to when you were a kid and say, okay, what hobbies did you enjoy then? And then try to see if those same hobbies still resonate with you now in your current state. I loved reading as a kid. Whenever I was bad, my family would lock my books in the trunk of the car when I was being a little baddie. And not the good kind of baddie, the bad type of baddie. But Legendborn, ooh. Chef's freaking kiss if you love fantasy. Period. That book, so good. If you're wondering, oh, who's your favorite? Selwyn Kane. I am a Selwyn Kane girly, and I can write a dissertation on why Selwyn Kane is the best option. Honestly, I think all 3 of them should be together. That's my ideal world. Sometimes you can't have that. So Selwyn Kane. What he did for Brie, everything he's done for that girl. This next topic is going to mention trauma. I'm not going to go into the details of any trauma or anything like that, but I will be talking about a heavier topic. Also, this portion of the video ends on a happy note. Don't worry, I wouldn't be sharing this story otherwise. So if you want to skip ahead to a different portion, then feel free to. Here's the timestamp. No worries. My last paper that I wrote in university was on trauma, but I learned a lot from that class. Oftentimes when it comes to trauma, you feel like the pain that you're experiencing is never going to end and that it's going to last forever. It's that unbearable type of pain that feels like it's crushing you. I mean, obviously I'm speaking from experience. I'm not gonna comment on this without knowing anything. And I studied this in university, but from the time you're born until the traumatic event happens, your timeline essentially is linear. But then when the traumatic event occurs, your timeline becomes a spiral around the trauma instead of continuing linear. So much of your life ends up being affected by this trauma. May I recommend this book, What My Bones Know? It's so amazing. I haven't finished it yet, but it's so good. Look up the trigger warnings though, but this woman, she talks about her working through complex PTSD. She had a very toxic, abusive household, and it's about her as an adult, how it still impacts her, but it has a happy ending and it's how she's worked through it. There is a very good quote that I absolutely adore from this book. I'm gonna put a screenshot of the quote here. I was literally reading it out loud like this was a bedtime story. Girl, what are you doing? Just put the screenshot on the screen. So I'll put it there. For the longest time, I thought my trauma was a separate entity. I thought it was a separate part of my identity that I could just separate and amputate and then that's it. It'd be gone. But no, it was so woven deeply into who I was. I felt like a lost cause because all of my decisions that I was was making, my relationships, every aspect of my life felt like it was impacted by these traumas that I went through, and I felt like a lost cause. I felt that I was hopeless. No, that is not the case. Once we work through the trauma, we are able to move forward. We're able to continue on a linear timeline. One of the things that's helped me deal with my trauma is looking at people who've also gone through trauma, especially if they're similar to mine. Girl, I was watching the first episode of the Vampire Diaries, and if you know, you know, Elena's parents died. It's not a spoiler or anything. Stefan says something that shook me to my core. He said, "You're not gonna be sad forever, Elena." Why did I actually need to hear that? That literally altered my brain chemistry. He obviously has trauma because he's a vampire, and then she has her trauma. He got it. The girls who get it, and the girls who don't. And sometimes you want people who see your trauma. We actually studied that in my class, how a lot of times when it comes to trauma, you need a witness to your trauma. And a lot of times you do that through talk therapy, but sometimes you find it in books. For example, Legendborn is about grief. Her mother dies. The quotes in that book are actually insane. Even if your trauma isn't connected to losing a parent or losing a family member, you can still see yourself. Sometimes a lot of the people in your life are not going to know what you went through. It's hard to process these things, and you feel so utterly alone. But trust me, you are not utterly alone. There are so many books and movies and Reddit posts where there are people who have gone through your trauma. My point with all of this is that even though in the moment it feels like life is never going to get better and that life is not worth living for, there are so many wonderful things that you are going to see on the other side. Yeah, maybe there was a before the traumatic event you and then after the traumatic event you, but there can also be an after the after traumatic event you. There are just so many wonderful things that you can't even imagine, that you don't even know is going to happen. Please, like, always remember that life is worth living for. And this is coming from someone who wanted to just wanted everything to end at one point. Very grateful and thankful that I didn't let the pain consume me. I just want to throw that out there in case anyone is going through something traumatic, or maybe they're feeling down, or just anything like that. I hope these glow up tips help you, and comment down below if you have any goals that you're trying to achieve. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic freaking day.